Jake Huling here with Aircraft Sales Advisor, and welcome to the 9th and final video report in this particular series called 9 Steps to a Successful Sale or Purchase of Your Plane, which, by the way, because of your requests, we are working on turning this into a book/manual that you can refer to and download, and we are almost finished, so that is very exciting to us. In the last report, we talked about all the information you'll need to gather together and have ready for the sale of your current plane and the information you should be asking for when you're looking at a potential plane that you would like to purchase. We also covered what a good professional spec sheet should look like and the information that you're going to want to be included in one if you're making it, and also the information that you should be getting if you're requesting one. So now let me congratulate you, because if you've been following us from the beginning of this series, we are almost there. At this point, we get to start talking about actual offers, and a very exciting part of the buying and selling process is the offer, either making or receiving one. We'll take a look at both sides of that, whether you're receiving an offer on a plane that you are selling or you're putting in an offer on a plane that you're hoping to purchase. We'll also talk about the good and bad of the pre-purchase inspection and what you must avoid during one at all costs. And lastly, we'll talk about recruiting help, whether or not you need help, and if you do, how to go about finding the right help. So let's start with offers. The offer. Whether giving or receiving one, it's the very thing that we've been working towards from the beginning. This can be the most exciting and at the same time frustrating and really even nerve-wracking part of the whole process. What makes the difference? Well, a lot of what makes the difference between being excited or frustrated is whether or not you were prepared and had proper expectations. It doesn't matter if it's a purchase or a sale. It's all about preparation and proper expectations. I'm telling you, that is the key. This means really knowing all sorts of things, like the current market around a particular plane that you are selling or wanting to buy, the wholesale and retail value of a plane that is in question, and if you're buying, it's making sure also that you are buying the right plane. What does that mean, or what do I mean? Well, it's making sure it's the right plane for your wants, your needs, and your mission. Is it going to do the things you are expecting it to do? A lot of people and companies call us because they bought a plane only to find out it won't do what they thought it would. And let me tell you, that makes for a day ruiner. Is that a word, day ruiner? Well, it is now. To be quiet, Stephen. What are you laughing at? You just run the cameras. It's your job. My job is to tell funny jokes. Anyways, but if you're properly prepared, know what plane is right for you and what its wholesale and retail value is according to the current market, you can make or expect to get an offer and do it with confidence. You know when it's the good deal and also when it's one that you should walk away from. And that leads us into negotiating. This is a very important part of the whole process. It's really critical even, because you can make or break the whole deal right here. I never expect to get an offer or make one that won't need to be negotiated. You really should just plan on it. Remember, the other party is also trying to get the best price they can, just like you. And that's why it's so important to not only know the value of the plane you are buying or selling, but also to be able to prove that what you say is accurate with the current market. And if you are not good at negotiating, that is one reason to recruit help. But we'll talk more about that in a moment. Next is the pre-purchase inspection. Now, the pre-purchase inspection is what happens usually after an offer has been accepted. This is essentially how the buyer finds out that what they believe they are buying is actually what they are getting. Makes sense. There is, however, a huge range in what a pre-purchase inspection can cover. It's not like this is listed in the manual. And this is where you need to be really, really extra careful. The plane will usually be inspected to some degree, both on the ground and also in the air. And you can expect that during this process, whether you are buying or selling, something may come up that will need to be addressed. It probably will. And when it does, it will either be fixed by the new owner after the purchase, fixed by the current owner before the sale, or negotiated out of the purchase price, the sale price. Now, planes don't always go into a shop for a pre-purchase inspection, but if they do, something you should avoid, really avoid at all costs, is getting the plane into the wrong shop. There are unfortunately shops out there that make their money by finding problems. This happens pretty regularly, and it can completely ruin everything both sides have been working so hard to accomplish. It can cost a lot of money, take a ridiculous amount of time, and can completely kill a sale or purchase. And watch out for the time portion of this, because even if you end up getting a shop that does good work, but is actually too busy to take your plane on, they will sometimes still take the plane into the shop, get started on taking it apart right away in order to get your business. Then it sits there, sometimes for literally months, while you hear the same excuse over and over. And it usually goes something like this: oh, no worries, we should only have it for another week. I hate that line. And they keep saying this week after week after week after week to string you along, because really, I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to take a wheelbarrow into the hangar and start picking up all the pieces of your plane? It's a terrible spot to get into. So make sure you get your plane or the plane into a shop you know will take care of both parties and the plane. Because if the plane goes to the right facility, this part doesn't have to go bad. It can go very smoothly, be finished quickly, not cost a boatload of money that nobody anticipated. Most importantly, not cost both sides the entire deal. So if you do need a referral to a good shop, just ask. We are happy to send work to the good shops and also save you from a really terrible nightmare. Lastly, let's talk about recruiting help. The question you should actually be asking is, how much help do you need? And that is a question that only you can answer. You have to ask yourself, how much are you comfortable handling? How much do you want to handle? And also, how much do you have time to handle? That last part seems to especially get overlooked. There is really a very heavy time commitment involved in successfully buying or selling a plane. Now, before I tell you this next part, please remember, my job is not to tell you what you want to hear. It's to tell you what you need to hear so that you can end up having everything you need to make an informed and comfortable decision about buying or selling a plane and getting to that successful outcome. It's the whole point, right? So if you don't have the time commitment that is necessary to buy or sell a plane, the expertise required to make a successful sale or purchase, or you just don't want to deal with the entire process, then you do need to recruit help, or you will end up with an absolute mess that can turn into a disaster. It can cost you a lot of money. You can lose the sale or purchase, and if you're buying, you can end up being stuck with an overpriced plane that won't even do the things that you thought you were buying it to do. Remember, when you are buying, the broker or person selling that jet or turboprop only gets paid if you buy their plane. It's not in their best interest to tell you this might not be the right plane for you. You need to find someone who is on your side and whose best interest is in helping you get the right plane for you. And like I said in the first video report in the series, make sure the person you hire only gets paid when there is a successful sale or purchase of a plane. Don't let them talk you into paying commissions or retainers. That's another one, up front. And so let me leave you with this. There is, of course, a lot more that we really don't have time to cover, including how to write an offer, how to respond to an offer, how to deal with escrow, and many other topics. So go through the 9 steps, get your information together, make your decisions, and if you decide you need help, make sure it's the right fit for your particular situation. You need to be very comfortable with the broker. I mean, after all, you're going to be working with them very closely for quite a while, and there is really a lot on the line. There's a lot at stake. And I think you would agree that any investment, large or small, needs to have a good return. The help that you are recruiting will charge you for that help, and that makes this an investment. And that investment needs to give you a good return. As always, if you're looking to buy or sell a jet or turboprop and you have questions for me, I can be reached by email. You can call me on the phone. I don't know. You can send me a telegram and I'll accept that. I don't know. And remember, the biggest mistake that you can make is not asking for help when you need it. All right. Our next video series is going to be on viewer requests. At this point, I haven't put a cap on the number of video reports that we're going to be doing in this new series. So if you have an idea, or there's something you have had trouble finding out there, or just something you've always wanted to know, just send me an email, because I believe, and we believe, because it's not just me, if you're going to take the time to watch and listen, we should take the time to make sure it's something worth watching and listening to. We think that's fair. All right. This is Jake Huling with Aircraft Sales Advisor, and I really do look forward to seeing you on the next one.